What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another stream. Whether you're watching live or at your leisure, I am Stuart, but you know me as Crypto Grind. It is great to have everybody here in the stream. And of course, it's Friday. So, you know what we normally do on Fridays? We talk a bit about your gems and we do a bit of a review on those. But before we get going, let's have a look at the markets a little bit. It's been a bit of a bad week for the markets, I would say, for crypto. Mostly red. You can see here, last 7 looking great. Although the last few days it has sort of settled. A lot of the charts have settled on their levels, which is looking pretty good. There's been some pretty decent economic news coming out of America as well. So I think that's helped the crypto markets. Whether we are still going to be seeing the Uptober that everybody was thinking we were going to see is actually pretty interesting because, the Octobers leading up to the bull runs have traditionally been pretty good. I think we are in uncertain times in a lot of ways. We've got the war in the Middle East as an example, and we've got our economies not doing as well as what they were previously. So I think all of that is leading into the this uncertainty of where cryptos will be going. But I still don't think it's necessarily too bad. I think that it's settled down where it is, and I think Bitcoin will probably be testing that 28,000 mark in the near future. We can have a look at our trading view and at the charts, as we always like to do at the beginning of these streams. And we can have a look and see where Bitcoin is and where it's possibly going to be testing. It is pretty boring. It's been in the same range for a very long time now. So it's going to probably continue in that sort of trend as well, where we're going to be testing various levels and then coming back down to old levels again. I know a lot of people are talking that Bitcoin is going to go back down to the 20,000 mark, which I'm not so sure that it will. I don't think it's going to go that low. I think that it'll probably be quite a bit higher. Let's just turn off our indicators over here so we can actually see, and then reset this chart a little bit. So these are the levels here. These yellow lines are what we drew in the last stream. And you can see that it's on the daily, it's pretty much respecting those. It's bumped up against here and it's going back down. So it's done pretty much what we expected it to do. And as I said, if we go past this level here, then the next one will be testing 28.4 and then these levels here as well. So, it remains to be seen where we go, but I think we've definitely hit some sort of consolidation over there at around about 26, and we're going to then be pumping, back up to these levels over here and then retesting this on the daily. And who knows? I think if we break through these here, then there's no stopping it all the way up to 30,000 really. And we've got our resident TA expert in the chat, so I'm sure that he'll say that I'm wrong, but Papi, I do try. We've got a few comments over here. Sorry, I'm tripping all over my words today. It was a bit of a rush to start the stream, so just excuse me a little bit. And then obviously we have our normal technical issues. So we've got, is it Subash coming in with the first comment? So welcome to the stream. And then Papi, as always, it is great to see you as well. So we've got Papi. I'm glad that you could catch a live stream. I know that you've got a lot of studying going on at the moment. So, it's good to have you around, and always good to have you in the chat as well. Subesh, and then Subesh also says thoughts on LCX. So we will touch on that now. Let's just get to a bit of news first. So the first one that I saw here is Bitcoin is neither bullish or bearish, which is quite interesting. I sort of believe it. If you have a look over here where we are in this fear and greed index, it's not as bad as what it has, but we were all the way a week ago, we were starting to touch into this green area. So we've been hovering in this neutral. We've just gone out of neutral zone into fear again. And remember the rule, you buy in fear, sell in greed, and that stays the same. So we're probably going to see a bit more downside, imagine, if we are in this fear sort of zone, which is good for alts, basically. So anybody who loves your altcoins, if you're not just a Bitcoin maxi, Of course, on this channel, we do like the old coins a lot more than your Bitcoins and those sort of things, because that's where we're going to make the gains. So sitting at your 39 out of 100 on the Fear and Greed Index means that the alt's probably going to see a bit more downside before they head up, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because when we head to the greed is when we start seeing them pump, and that's when you should be looking to take out your profits. So it's quite an interesting one where it just says major traders expect the approval of the ETF to reinvigorate the markets. And that's pretty much gone the same way that I expected it to go, when I've been saying it for a long time, when this news came out earlier on this year, a few months ago, that I expected the SEC to delay the decision, and we will see an answer closer to the time of the halving. And that's pretty much exactly what's happened. It's gone that way. I think a lot of the major financial institutions obviously do have some control in this, whether we like to believe it or not. And they have delayed this decision because they know the halving is coming up. They know that this gives them time to accumulate, to suppress the price of Bitcoin and so on, and that the ETF will be approved. There's no doubt to my mind that it will be approved. It's just a case of when. But we are looking pretty neutral in the markets. There's no real bulls or bears. They both sort of have taken a nap, I'd imagine, is how you can describe it. Colin in the chat as well. It's good to see you, one of the Crypto Grind OGs. Welcome to the chat. I don't know how long you can stick around for. I know you're a pretty busy guy, so it's good to see you. Guys, also remember, if you are watching, hit that like button. Make sure you're sharing the stream, getting everybody to join in. It is the best way that you can support the channel. So, yeah, it's great to see everybody. Who else have we got here before we get to everything else? We got Goldie Crypto. Good afternoon. Thoughts on GFL? Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. Just in quick short one, I am bullish on GFL, but we can touch on that a bit more in detail as the stream goes on. Support is around 26 to 26.3. If price holds the support, we might see some small bounces. Higher time frame supports is at 25K. So you can see what Puppy is saying here. Support is around 26 to 26.3. So let's drop it down to some lower levels. Let's drop it down to the 1 hour. So we are sitting pretty much in the support zone that Puppy has been talking about over here. The price might be slightly different. So we've got 26.7 there. So it's more or less the same on TradingView. If we hold over here, Puppy is saying, then we are going to have a small bounce and then probably head up to some higher levels. And then also he's saying that the support is over here, which is down here, 25K. So we shouldn't be going too much lower than these levels here. And just for everybody in the chat who is new, Puppy is fantastic with his TA. He is making some really good trading calls. If you haven't already, check out the Patreon. We have one purely for trading. I think Puppy is 5 for 5 so far this month. Correct me if I'm wrong. And we're in number 6. And it's over about 300% profit. So Puppy is really great with his TA. So if that is something that interests you, check out the Patreon. The link is in the description. But so these are the support levels that Puppy is talking about. We got over there and over there. So more or less, are we looking at a Bitcoin? It's pretty boring, to be honest with you, because we can, if we're on the daily, this has been doing, how far back is this over here? So this is June. So on the screen here, you can see June till now in October, and you can see it's pretty boring, the range that it's in, unfortunately. So we've got that news. Let's also just touch on this one while we wait for the screen to load. But basically, this news article is about our friend from FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried. He has come on the record in his court case. For those of you who don't know, there's a current court case with Sam Bankman-Fried being charged with a whole bunch of different things, including fraud. And he has been a part of the court case. In the documents, he actually said that it was Binance's fault that FTX and Alameda had their bank accounts exposed to the world. So instead of actually taking the blame and saying we traded with other people's money and we did whatever we wanted with other people's money, because we've actually heard that now last week, one of the higher ups who was actually Sam Bankman-Fried's friend, but now he's turned state witness, actually said that they could withdraw whatever they wanted from the account whenever they wanted. They were basically taking people's money and spend it as if it was their own. And Sam Bankman-Fried now, instead of taking accountability, has said that it was Binance's fault, and they exposed the banking details and their financials. So that's pretty interesting. All right, let's get to some comments then. Let's start off with Sabesh. We go back to that one. You said thoughts on LCX. I like LCX. I think LCX is a very good coin. For me, a lot of exchange coins in general, they're not the best because they're only real sort of there we go. Puppy's just put in the chat. 6 for 6. BNX was up at 86%, moved stop loss, and then got stopped out. Cool. So 6 for 6. I mean, profit. So if you want to make short-term profits, make sure you're checking out the trading chat on Patreon. But LCX itself, I am bullish. I like the idea that it's regulated. You can sort of trust. There's the trust factor that is there where it's not really in a lot of other places. But the trust factor is huge. The one thing for me, though, when it comes to these exchange tokens in general, is there's no real utility behind them. I do like utility. Obviously, we've spoken about it before in the crypto space, that hype is often a lot more than what the utility is. But if you have a look at something like an LCX, you got your KuCoin tokens, CRO, all of those. What do you do with them once you buy them? A lot of the time, all it does is it just brings liquidity, gives the exchange liquidity so they can keep going, but they give you one of your perks as governance. I mean, you can get governance perks for a lot of different tokens, not only LCX. And I mean, Source of Swap is another one. I really like Source of Swap, very bullish on it. But in terms of utility, you can use it for the liquidity pools and everything else on the HBAR ecosystem. But LCX is a good coin. I think there is definitely a lot of upside for it, especially because it's regulated. A lot of people will jump there, and they will be using the LCX exchange to purchase tokens and things like that because they can trust it. So there's a lot of upside to it, but it's not something that I have done a video on it, but I wouldn't rush into this without having a look at some other tokens first. There are other low caps that you can probably do a lot more with, and will probably do a lot better. But yeah, all in all, it's a good coin, safe. I think it's a pretty solid investment in my opinion. NXRA. Now this is an interesting one. I'm fairly neutral on an alliance block, and the reason being, I know previously they actually did have their security issues. I think they were hacked or something like that, and a huge amount of money was actually taken out of their wallets and whatever the case is. And then they've rebranded themselves. I can't remember what they were before, but they have rebranded themselves. Again, I think that there's a lot of utility behind this, and what they're trying to achieve is pretty good. But they're doing a lot of it on the down low, to be honest with you. You see Puppy's talking here. So for all of you that aren't aware, I actually put in a pretty early buy alert on for RVF, which is Rocket Exchange on Patreon. And it's done well. I don't think it ever went down past the buy point. And I think at one point we were 4x up or something like that. But it's what Puppy says. It's a good project, but token utility wasn't doing it. And Puppy's right. And I think that's one reason why I haven't continued to look at these sort of exchanges, because the utility is not the best. Like RVF, it's a good project and it can do a lot, but you can probably look at projects with better utility. Just going back to NXRA, so what they're trying to achieve is pretty good. I like that. I like what the partnerships that they have in place. You can actually go to their website and you can see they've got some pretty big partnerships, which of course is bullish. And these are actually legitimate partnerships. It's not just, oh, we've won a grant to build or anything like that. You can see they've got Quant. I'm pretty sure they also partnered with XRP as well, but they've got the BNB chain. So basically, for anybody who doesn't know, it's all about tokenizing of assets, basically. So empowers business to tokenize assets and compliantly, and also remain compliant. So they're trying to do the whole compliance thing as well. But yeah, their partnerships are pretty good. Chainlink, Quanso, the interoperable engine as well. So what they're doing all in all, this is pretty not good here. Galileo protocol, for those of you who don't know, Galileo is probably one of the most underrated real world asset projects in the crypto space. If you haven't already, check out Galileo protocol. I do think that it's worth a pretty decent shout, in my opinion. But remember, nothing I say is financial advice. But yeah, so Alliance Block, I like them. I like what they're trying to achieve. But because of their previous issues, I'm reluctant to trust them. I know that they've tried to rebrand and they've improved on what they were doing previously, but that trust element is still not there for me. So all in all, neutral on them. I wouldn't invest in XRA, even though I know you go into Twitter and you can see every single list. NXRA is making those lists now where they say, you know, we're going to do a 300x. But I don't know. We've got Goldie. Thoughts on GFL? All right, let's have a look at GFL. GFL, I am bullish on. I think between GFL and Maria are going to be two of the biggest gaming projects in the crypto space. I don't think we're going to see a massive rebound for Gala after the FUD that's been going on. Or actually, I don't even know if you want to call it that, but legitimate FUD, legitimate bad news for Gala. And at one point, I was actually bullish on Gala. I've done videos on it where I said it was good time to buy. And unfortunately, the news that came out of Gala wasn't good. And I don't think it's going to get better. I think there's something like $10 million worth of tokens locked up because of a court order, because the creators are literally going after each other in court battles. So it's not good news, unfortunately, for Gala, but of course, then that just gives us opportunities in other spaces. I mean, for other projects, basically, to come in and take the mantle as top of the gaming world. And I think GFL and Murray are probably going to be up there as the top picks. There are others. I've literally released a video last week or the beginning of this week about my top 5 gaming picks in GFL, and Murray were right up there with the best. I think it's you can sort of ignore the circulating supply. For me, the circulating supply for these projects is not necessarily the most important thing. It's not great. I mean, we're sitting at 10%, but they have said recently that they're going to be releasing these tokens into supply very slowly. I think it's going to take 10 years before the full supply is out. And I think in between them, they're going to have a buy and burn project going on as well. So that will also help lower the supply and, of course, kick the price up. You also look at this price right now, and we don't have any major exchanges. There really is no major exchange listing. There's no KuCoin, there's no Binance, there's no Coinbase, there's no Kraken. And I think once that happens, we will see this price start to pump. I know a lot of people say that this is all hype, but I believe that there's hype and utility behind GFL. So all in all, I think really good project. The price in terms of buying is still pretty high. You can see that we've had this huge spike at the end of September, which took it from a $19 million market cap to a 24, pretty much $25 million market cap. So I think we probably will see some cooling off. I don't know how much, but it's probably worthwhile, I would say, holding off a little bit before getting into GFL. I think projects like Myria and PlayZap are probably better buys right now than going into GFL. Although I do like GFL and I think it's a good buy. I think maybe waiting for this price to cool off, because I do think that there is going to be some bullish movement on this because we've had such a steep rise. But if you always want to think about getting in now, remember DCA, don't go all in. I think it's a good project, but don't go all in DCA, because then you're getting prices cheaper right now. And if it goes down, you buy some more and your overall profit margin will be higher. So it works out well to DCA. Never go all in on these projects. When is the best time to buy GFL? Today unlock. Yep, 100%. So today is the unlock. And that's why we're seeing this dip. It happens every time. We can find the 13th of every month. Look here we go, 12, 13, 14, 15. It had a big dip and then up. That was last month. We can go to August, and it'll probably be around here as well. Here was the dip here for the 13th before it went up. So every month it does dip because of the monthly unlock. So I would say if you want to buy every month, if you want to DCA in, definitely do it. I would wait for the dip. So you start DCAing in on the 12th, 11th, 12th, somewhere there will be your best buying opportunity before it starts to pick up again. And a lot of people say that it's going to dip after every unlock, but I never see it dip after every unlock. Volume is still very good, especially since we don't have it on major exchanges. So we're not on major exchanges, but we're seeing volume just under $1 million, which tells you that it's actually pretty bullish for the project, in my opinion. You can have a look at other projects. I know recently, I don't know if anybody was in Gamers. We were actually speaking about this Friday, just before they announced their ultimate sort of demise, where they said that they weren't able to deliver on what they had promised, basically. So they've more or less closed this down, and there's nothing more that you can do with LFG. But when you start to see volume like this, you do start sort of worry that we are going to see pretty bad things. And with volume this low as well, remember, a small movement, I come in with $10,000 to buy or sell $10,000 and absolutely just shifts. That's exactly what happened here on this. So unfortunately, volume does have an impact, and we're looking pretty good on the GFL chart. And we can even have a look. I think Maria, for example, is over $1 million last I saw. So it's down 20%. So it was, I looked at it a couple of days ago. We're looking at for Maria. So the movement is pretty good on that, the volume. And again, no real major listings. OKS is the biggest listing. So all in all, pretty good for Maria, in my opinion. I'm just going down the list. Probably sold out of RVF. RVF is still looking pretty good. I like the exchange. I like the idea of it. I think I can't remember when we put it in, but we were at least a 2x, 3x from where we put the buy alert. And volume here is very good. And that, I think, people are moving tokens on and off the exchange. But in general, exchange tokens for me, I've changed my outlook on these a little bit. I think I still hold RVF, and I'll keep holding until the height of the next bull run, because I think it will go up some more. But I wouldn't be adding to my bag if this took a dip, as an example. I would definitely wait, use my money rather for other projects. I think we got in sort of something here. No, it was even earlier than that. Am I bullish on Hello? Yes and no. I think the team behind Hello is very good. I think that moving TV shows and entertainment and that sort of thing onto the blockchain is something that is very likely to happen and is pretty much inevitable. We're going to see that happen. Do I think that, again, this is probably that I wouldn't necessarily be buying into right now. We've got this TV show Killer Whales coming out that it's been in the works for a very long time. I don't even know. Let's see if it's on their website here. I don't even know when it's supposed to be coming out. I know that they've had huge drama with BitBoy coming and going, and with everything that's happened on his side, because he was supposed to be part of the show. And we've got some pretty big players in the crypto space. Got Wendy O, Crypto Banters over there. Some of these guys I don't know, but yeah, they've got some really big names within the crypto space. But am I bullish on it? Yeah, look, I think it's going to do well. I think it's going to do pretty well. They've got some pretty good partners: Sony Music, Universal, Altcoin Daily. I'm guessing he's one of these guys here. I don't even know what Altcoin Daily looks like. I just listen to the podcast. But yes, Hello, again, it's probably not one that I would go into. It's going to do well. I don't think it's going to dump. I don't think it's a bad project. I think that there are some, yeah, I mean, you can see I've got it on watch lists and things like that, but I don't know. For me, it's sometimes when you have a look at crypto projects, you sort of think, does it grab me? Hello Labs has never been one that's pulled me in and given me a warm fuzzy, basically, project. That's how I would describe it. When you look at something like an Algorand, for example, I get this like feeling that it's going to be something massive. Or when you look lower down the list at some of the projects, I'm just trying to think of some low caps that most of us in our communities would be in. Even a Myria and a GFL. Look at those and I think, yeah, this could really be something. Where Hello, we've seen TV shows come and go, we've seen production companies come and go. Look what happened to Gala as an example. Everybody was super bullish on Gala, and I think Hello would be competing with that as well from their TV side of things. So it's a good project. I think you would see good returns. I would be reluctant to say a 100x. I would say 50x, which I think is good. So purely from hype and that sort of perspective, you're going to get good returns. But from a utility perspective, again, what do you really use a token for? Are you going to pay Hello tokens to watch killer whales? How is killer whales going to promote the token? So I don't know. I think the token at the end of the day is just a way to get people to invest into another production company and just taking advantage of cryptocurrency and blockchain and making use of these influencers as well. I mean, Wendy O has got over 1 million followers. Crypto Banter, I think, is the second biggest after the BitBoy channel, because I know that the BitBoy channel is now without Ben, but they're still going. So I think Ran is probably the second biggest crypto influencer. So they're taking advantage of everybody's followings here and getting people to buy in. And look, it's going to do well. I think it'll do well, but it's not something that I would buy into. Thoughts on Ajax? Ajax for me is a very good project. Actually, watch the video that's coming out. I'll be putting it on the Telegram group for our Patreons now after this, and then probably releasing it onto YouTube tomorrow morning, maybe, or this evening. But yeah, so for me, Ajax, great project, super intelligent team. Like the guy behind it, I can never remember. I think it's Ben, is it? Let's see if we get his name here. Team behind it. What's most expressive? Can't get his name here, but the guy behind it is incredibly intelligent. And what I like about this, which is probably different to some of the other projects out there, is that there's a humanitarian side to it as well. It's not just pure profit taking. They're actually doing it to better the human race, which I think it's great. I like the whole humanitarian and utilitarian sort of idea behind it. I think that this is a very good project. It's in a narrative that I do think is going to do very well. Obviously, we had a huge spike in February this year, wherever that is. Let's just do this here. We had a huge spike at the beginning of the year, and this is it here. But I don't think that that's the end for Singularity. I think that we're going to see much bigger gains than this. I think we're going to at least double this over here. So from here, I would say it's a 10x minimum. It can go higher than a 10x, but if you're looking for AI projects to get you big money, Singularity is not going to be the one that's going to get you from here. He's really sitting 200 million. I don't think it's hitting to 20 billion. I think a 10 to 30x is probably realistic. But a great project. I like this project, and I think it's going to do very well. The AI projects that I would be looking at for bigger gains would be things like there's another one that's doing very well at the moment. It's 0x0. This one's fairly new, and this has seen massive gains in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So this isn't one that I would be buying into right now, because you want the price to cool before you even think about getting into this. But yeah, if you want to look lower down the list for AI projects, if you want to be getting in, there's this one, Viot, Fetch.ai, I think is still pretty solid as well. There's others. I'm trying to think. We did a buy alert on Patreon about 2 months ago as well. The project was called Neuroni. We haven't looked back on this one either. This is also a good project as well. So yeah, those would be the AI projects that I would look at. But Singularity I wouldn't be buying into right now. If you have Ajax and you bought it, well, actually I would look at it, but not from a perspective of making you 100x. I would look at it, and you got to be realistic and say you're going to get 10 to 30x. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll see it go up to a 50x or something like that. But just be realistic with Ajax. But I still think that it's a very good project. And if you hold it and you bought a lot lower, you've done very well. If you're looking to buy right now, just know that it's going to be one of the safe high caps in your portfolio. It's not going to be a low cap gem that's going to get you 100, 1000x or anything like that. Thoughts on FabWorld? I like FabWorld. I think that also it made the video that I did at the beginning of this week. I like this project. I think that it can do well. I don't think that it's going to do as well as Maria and GFL. I don't think it's going to get up to those heights. But look, I mean, it does need to a 100x takes it to 200 million. That for me is pretty achievable, in my opinion. I think that it can do that. They also got some really good partnerships. The only thing for me is their website, man. The website for FabWorld. I was watching Archie the other day, and he actually described it the best. He said that it looks like people from some high school kids got together and slapped together a school project, and that's how they built the website. I think the actual project of FabWorld is good, and I do think it's going to do extremely well. I mean, they got good partnerships. It says the game is called Arsenal, but they are partnered with Arsenal, the football club. And that's just an example. They got a lot of things going for them, future of esports, the ideas, the roadmap, everything looks pretty exciting for this project. And I do think that there is probably a 100x in here. I just wish that they would update their website. It's just clunky, and the colors are weird. It just doesn't look great. But we've got what's coming for the rest of the year. They've launched their games. They've progress, and they're meeting these targets. They've even started working on Q4, so they're ahead in many ways. They're doing well, and here we go. I'm so happy to read that they're doing a website revamp, and that'll push the price up quite a bit, because this website right now does put people off. You've got a lot of things going, but they've got a good team. Docs, these guys understand what to do when it comes to gaming. So I think FabWorld is a good project. I don't think it's going to hit, 4 billion like I expect Maria and GFL to hit. But I think that it can do a 100x. Even if it does a 50x, takes it to 100 million market cap. 50x is nothing to be upset about. You're doing extremely well if you're getting a 50x. So, let's see how it goes. But FabWorld, I do think will do very well. It's still a very new project. You've got to consider that. It hasn't been exposed to a bull run either. This price here was all on hype. And that was in December 2021 when we were cooling off from the last bull run. So it's They released at a very unfortunate time. Good time for us who want to get into it, but for themselves as a project, they really released at a pretty poor time. But it's not a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing, and I don't think the coin is going to do badly. So even from this price, we had a bit of a run here, and it went up quite nicely. I think I got quite lucky. I did a video on Fab Walt about a month or so ago, and then I did a quick 3x from the video to here, and then dipped off again. But all in all, a really good project. Colin, I don't know if you hold Fab Walt, if you're looking to get into it, but this price range here is pretty enticing, in my opinion. If you have a look at where we are, the lowest was 202. So look, we're a fair way off there, but I'm not too sure we're getting back to that price. That was at the beginning of the year. So, you know, DCA, get some nice Fab Walt, and I think you'll do all right. We've got Armin. I hope I'm saying your name right. Again, everybody who is new to the channel, I'm terrible with names. So if I do say your name wrong, I'm very sorry. And you can always correct me in the chat. Thoughts on PZP? So that also made the video that I released on Monday. I think it was on YouTube. I like this project. I think, I'll say it again, Archie made a fantastic call right at the beginning. He got some pretty good buy time in on this. He's way up, but I don't think that it's the end for PlayZap. I think they are very similar to Nakamoto. You know, we saw what Nakamoto Games did, so we have a look here. Just have a look at this chart. It will settle down if we just do full time. I mean, this is a very new project. It's only a few months old. But I think if we compare it, have a look at something like a Naka, they are pretty similar. I think Nakamoto is probably slightly better, but that doesn't mean PlayZap is a bad project. Nakamoto's got better tokenomics though, so you do have to look at that as well. Although again, when it comes to a lot of these projects, sometimes tokenomics is not always something that you need to be terribly concerned about, because there will be burns and stuff like that along the way for a lot of these projects. So Nakamoto has kicked off, and everybody's been sort of waiting for it to. I think what happened is it did this initial run here, and everybody thought, well, let's wait till it comes down to sort of these levels here again, and it never did. It's just done this the whole year. You wait for a cool off, and you think, can I get into it? And I have a feeling we're not going to have too many more opportunities to buy into something like PlayZap. They've got a very good team. Something for PlayZap as well is that I don't really like their website either. I think that, again, it looks cheap, if that's a way to say it. I think they can do much better on websites, and that's probably chasing some people away. But the fact that they're backed by KuCoin Labs and BNB as well, that's sort of taking them a grant or something like that. So they got some really good sort of promotion and backing, which is nice, because that means that we can expect good things from them. And I just want to see here, you can see the team. The team is pretty good, and the team understand what it takes to build a good crypto project. I mean, look at this Poker Bridge. So they've got some really good venture capitalists. I'm not always a big fan of VCs, because they can sort of manipulate the coin a bit, but I don't think that it'll happen with this one. And if you look at these guys, I have a look, they're all docs, 10 pages. They all come from pretty good backgrounds. So I would go and have a look at it, but I'm logged in on my personal LinkedIn, so I don't want to give too much away now. Yeah, so, but they are docs. You can go into LinkedIn, you can have a look at everybody. And they're actually hiring as well, which is quite nice. So I think all in all, PZP, good project, good games, and also what's nice is that they are, in many ways, they are targeting Nakamoto. They have the same sort of utility. They've got a marketplace. If you have a look here, it does say it here somewhere. They've got marketplaces. They've got NFTs. They've got a lot that's going for them, and I think we're going to see this project do pretty well, in my opinion. So yeah, PZP, and it's actually quite a good price right now too. We had a huge run up over here, and I think a lot of people have taken profits. Plus the fact that Uptober is not really Uptober anymore, is it? So, I know, a good project in my opinion. Puppy coming in with Love Fab World. It'll do 250x to 500 million. I mean, that's possible. You know, I don't like looking past the 100x. It's crazy, but in the crypto, even in the crypto space, I just think that sometimes we can try and maybe get a bit greedy and see things like that. But 500 million, you know, at the end of the next bull run, I don't think that we're going to see any good projects below 100 million. Our next sort of low cap will be 100 million, in my opinion, and a micro cap will be anything between 1 million and 100 million. So the fact that it's even going to just get to 500 million is probably still going to be a pretty small market cap at the end of the next bull run. But that if you're getting in right now, you're doing a 250x. Even if you can only afford $500 as an example, you risk it all and you get something like a Fab World, which it's medium risk in my opinion. No project is 100%, but Fab World is something that I would say is medium risk. But if that's what you want to do, you take $500, you put it into Fab World, it does a 250x. You've done well. You've done very, very well, and I think you'll be very happy with yourself at the end of the day. So Fab World, I think, is very good. We have got H-Rod. Thoughts on Synverse? Not a project that I am too excited about for a couple of reasons. The major one being that they actually were branding themselves as Sin City in the last bull run. We had a lot of people going and creating crypto projects, and they were saying, oh, metaverse is going to be the next thing. It's never going down, all of that sort of stuff. And this was one of them. They didn't deliver on what they were talking about in the last bull run. They didn't deliver. Nothing really went past an even alpha, really, that they showcased on their website. And now they've changed their name, rebranded themselves. I don't even know if they're showing the same game that they were during the last bull run. But for me, if you're going to rebrand yourself because you didn't deliver I'm pretty sure this is exactly what they were talking about like 3 years ago. And nothing else has come out of it. So for me, personally, it's not something that I would look at because they haven't delivered previously. They've been building this for 3 years and they've got nothing really to show for it. So not something that I would look at. I would, if I was you, you know, obviously do your own research, but spend your money on other projects and not necessarily this. And I mean, you can see what it did. This is the last bull run. It pumped everybody up. This is when Facebook renamed themselves to Meta. It pumped all the way up to 64 cents. What was the market cap? 36 million. So from a hype perspective, again, can we get there? Yes. But is there like higher likelihood, in my opinion, that we can see a rug pull from here? Yeah, because the team is already, they've demonstrated that it's probably what they did here. I reckon all of this was exit liquidity for the team, everything in this region. So not something that I would be getting into. I would be very cautious if I was you. Let's see here. Plan on getting listed on exchanges around the halving. Is that Fab World or PZP, puppy? I've spoken about two of those, but I mean, I think that's the perfect time to be listed on an exchange if you're not already. Money's going to be starting to flow in, people are getting excited, things are hotting up, bull run's coming, and then you're listing on exchanges. There you go, it's Fab World, puppy's just put in the chat. So you're listing on exchanges as things start hotting up. I think it's going to be great. You're going to see, I know KuCoin and Binance are really good with marketing projects that are listing. They get a lot of hype around it. So those two go in and they list something like that, the price is going to spike. And you'd almost be tempted to sell, but I would hold and let it just continue to pump through the bull run. What else we got? Colin, Ben Gertel. Yeah, that's the Ajax guy. Yeah, he is insanely intelligent. I mean, you have a look at the guy. I can have a look here again. He looks, you know, when you see someone, it's the same as what's the guy's name from Ripple, also super intelligent guy. When you look at them, you're like, yeah, I can tell that they're smart, because it's just they don't care about anything else. You know, you get those super intelligent people don't care about what they wear, what they look like. They just, their brains are on another level to everybody else's. Let's see if we can find a picture of this guy. But no, you can see here, he just looks clever. I mean, he's a PhD as well, so a very clever guy. No, I like what he wants to do. Very, very humanitarian, which is fantastic. So all in all, Ajax it's a great project. Thoughts on Big Time? I haven't heard of Big Time, actually. Take a look at it now. Oh, there's loads. Guys, also just don't forget, really make sure you are hitting that like button. It really does help the channel out, pushes us out into the algorithm. Big Time, $37 million market cap, but the tokenomics here are horrendous. Is that 5 billion total supply? Yeah. It's got big listings already. Multiplayer action RPG for PC, melds a fast combat system. Game economy. Okay, it's an interesting one. Did we do all time? Let's have a look. We don't really have it. Let's check the website out. Pre-season is here. Is this live? Is this something you can play right now? Yeah, look, for me, a lot of the time with these, don't know what's happened there. It just sort of reset itself. I hope I'm still live. These NFC projects sometimes, NFT, sorry, aren't always the best thing. Take your weapons to the next level by using materials you can craft. So you're going to have to buy the coin, buy more, level yourself up. And then I'm guessing you're going to have an NFT where you can sell the project. I mean, a marketplace where you can sell your E. I probably wouldn't go for something like this. There have been a lot of these projects that have come and gone in the sort of like bonus roll as well. I don't know why I should be rolling for items that I can craft my weapons and things with. You know, people are playing it. Watch Big Time on Twitch. You see, the thing is, what they've done here is they've just like paid people money to play this game. Sometimes it just, I don't know. It's not something that I would probably go into. It doesn't make it a bad project, but yeah, I think there's probably other things. With the $37 million, pretty much 38. I think we can probably spend our money better. And this sort of thing here, I mean, people complain about G-Fold with supply being so as low as it is. That's even worse. I want to see if we can get let's have a look at the white paper before we make a final call. Exit some of these. Let's get some tokenomics going, see how they've distributed the tokens, because a lot of the time with these sort of projects, the teams take a lot of the money. Where is tokenomics? Is there no tokenomics in the white paper? That's if there's no tokenomics, that's a concern. Although, let's see, that's part of the game. Let's have a look here. How do you collect collectibles? Roadmap. And there's nothing for me around tokenomics, which is a concern, because how do I know where these tokens are going? We can also have a look at let's have a look at ETHScan over here. See if there's any big wallets that are holding. It's 2,000 holders, so a small amount of holders as well. Fully diluted market cap sitting at $1 billion. Not even GFL or Murray are that bad. Let's see, holders over here. This is pretty big. This must be a wallet that hasn't distributed tokens, but one wallet holding 78% of the supply is pretty concerning. Although I wouldn't know what this wallet is. You would have to have a look and see that there must be a reason why one wallet holds so much. If you've got OKX only holding 1%, MEXC 0.2%, KuCoin with 0.04. So this wallet holds more than the exchanges. It is a bit of a weird one. Finally sold out of Meta Hero. Slowly gotten. Yeah, look, for me, sorry, I just got a message here. So for me, Meta Hero and selling digital land and stuff like that, so these metaverse projects, I don't know. I think that there is a place for them, just not right now. We got very hyped when Facebook came out with their whole meta spiel at the beginning of the last bull run. And I think that's why a lot of them did well. Meta Hero was one. There was another one that I bought into, Blocktopia. That's what it was. I thought I was getting in cheap. And the reason why I went into this one is because, even still on here. No. Shows how bad this project is. It's not even listed here anymore. Maybe it's on CoinGecko. So Blocktopia, they were building with KuCoin. KuCoin actually bought office space, digital office space in Blocktopia. BitBoy had bought advertising. Sony had gone in. Sky Sports had gone in, for all of those of you who know Sky Sports. So it looked good on the face of it. It's not even listed on these anymore. It looked good on the face of it that it was going to do well. And I thought, let me get in early, buy a little bit of this. It's going to be just explode. And it never did. So after that sort of thing, even Meta Hero, I was very underwhelmed. And I just don't see how we can use our VR headsets at the moment. They are clunky. I don't know. There's no need for them. And I think people just took Meta, and Facebook released it and said Meta. So we all went, oh, metaverse, the next big thing, because Facebook are pumping it. And we saw how much money Facebook lost on it. Well, so yeah, I'm with you on that one. They're not projects. I did a video, maybe it was about 2 or 3 months ago now, where it was like a degen pick for me. And I think a lot of people are thinking the same thing. It's like, right, well, go and put $50 in. It's got a very low market cap, and let's see what happens. But it was ultra degen, and I don't think anything's going to come of it, to be honest with you. GFL it is. Remember, always do your own research. It's not only what I say, but personally, I would do GFL over something like a big time. H-Rod Delesium. I wonder if I'm saying that right. Let's have a look. I haven't heard of this one either. DELY. Supply is okay. Circulating supply is always all out. Okay, let's go back to market cap because we can get a bit of a write-up on it. We can have a look and see what it is. AGI. $7 million market cap, so not too bad. Listings, got KuCoin, it's the biggest one. Construct virtual world, 1 billion individuals and 100 billion. Okay. Sort of like meta hero in many ways. So it's pretty much what we've been talking about as well, that the metaverse projects, they'll might do well because of hype, but it's a gamble. It's not a safe sort of, this one is almost guaranteed to do well. You know, you look at the financial ones, you look at things like AI, those and some of the other gaming projects I think will do well with this. It's a gamble. I wouldn't do anything more than that, to be honest with you. Let's just have a look at the circulating supply as well. Fully diluted, it's not too bad. 14%. Got good volume, but yeah, probably not something that I would be picking up. Let's see if we can take a look at the website. Oops. Just close it. AI-powered open world framework. So you create your AI twin. Yeah. No, it's not something that I'll go into, to be honest with you, H-Rod. Okay, everybody, I think if there are no more questions, get your last questions in now. Otherwise, I will wrap the stream up. I think it's been another good one, another like Good Friday stream. As always, how we end the streams, get some fresh air and some sun over the weekend, walk away from the charts. The cryptos will be there next week, Monday. We're not going to start a bull run this weekend, so you don't need to spend your time staring at the charts. If you haven't already, make sure you are liking the channel. It would be good if you aren't already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. I think we've got a really good channel going here. I've got a fantastic community. And yeah, if you want to join the Patreon, the link is in the description. We've got, I think, 4 tiers now, so we've sort of narrowed it down. One is, as we said at the beginning, it's a trading tier. Puppy, who is in the chat, he does some fantastic TA and is 6 for 6 now this month. So, you know, you can look at it. We're on the 13th, so a trade alert every 2 days, basically. And yeah, I think, Colin, what we can do here, we can quickly have a look at Compete. I know it's on everybody's lips at the moment, so we can do Compete quickly, and then we will wrap it up. I haven't done too much research into Compete. I must be honest with you. I will probably need to look at this a bit more. But on the face of it, from what the little I've heard and seen about it, it looks quite good. But I couldn't say yes or no until, you know, I've done more research into it. But team-based multiplayer game, free to play. Game modes include Battle Royale, go-karting, and obviously Battle Royale is the hype at the moment, basically. There's a lot of people playing BRs, whether it's Warzone or PUBG or Fortnite. Valorant is another one. So yeah, Compete looks okay. I think they've got a beta at the moment or something like that you can, if I'm not mistaken. But unless this is just, I think, actually, no, what it might be is these are just parts of the game, but you can't play it yet. You know, game mode's coming soon or something. So I think I'll wait until there's something playable before we can sort of get a decision on it. So I don't think, oh, you can you download it now? You can, okay. well, there you go. It's early access, so it's still in beta. But I think with these sort of things, because it's one game, you want them to be able to do a lot with it because the hype for these games dies down pretty quickly. So anyway, I'll do some more research and we can maybe chat about it in the stream. I'm going to go. We'll have another one on Tuesday. A VIP stream on Monday for all the VIPs in the chat. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. It's been good. Have a good weekend.